Come sit with me for a second. I want us to talk about something that you've not shared with anyone, you've been carrying silently, and you've not said out loud to yourself, really. I know you've been meaning to talk to them. It could be a friend, someone at work, or even a family member. And this thing happened weeks ago. And deep down, it's still sitting in your chest, but you keep on telling yourself that, oh, it's fine, it's not that deep. Or maybe I'm overthinking it. When you know it's not fine, when you know that it's quite deep, and every single time you're around them, you act normal. And I also know that sometimes when you're in a family group call or you're in a meeting and someone makes a statement or a claim that doesn't really sit well, or you have a different opinion with it, you end up saying, oh, I agree. I know there is a message sitting in your notepad. You've always wanted to quote and unquote speak your mind to maybe a friend, family member, or a colleague. Even though we read it like 4 times, but never sent it. Quick thing before I keep on going, if any of these things sounds familiar or is applicable to you right now this season, I want you to hit the like button so I can know how many of us are in this. I actually want to tell you what this actually is because I do not think you've been calling it what it is. Honestly, you might have been calling it overthinking or maybe a confusion problem or maybe your brain has not actually processed your thoughts yet. The crazy truth is that you know what you think because you did think about it the second it happened. You knew it the moment it hurt your feelings. The thought was never missing, it was just never moved. So here's the part I really want you to hear. You didn't stay quiet because you're not confident. You just stayed quiet because you felt that, oh, this is not who you are, or this is not something you identify as. Maybe you talking back at someone's, words or opinion. And you're like, oh, that's not me. And honestly, I don't think it should have to be you. So I want to give you something small to hold for the next time or the time where you're having a conversation with a family member, a colleague, or a friend. I actually do this. I actually came up with the acronym, the meaning behind it. So it keeps me in check whenever I'm having a conversation. And I don't mean that, oh, every time I'm having a conversation, I have the mindset of, okay, I need to have a response back to every words that are being said to me. No, because once you go into a conversation with a confrontation mindset, then you don't get the value or the true intention of that conversation. If I'm making sense, let me know. So I call it LOVE.
Because love was made for me
And the letter L stands for listen. So before you talk yourself out of it, I want you to listen to the first true thing you felt, the first true emotion you felt. Not the polished version, not the afterthought. That instant emotion that you felt. I want you to pay attention to it. That's something I had to practice myself. When someone reaches out to me that I did something to them that hurt them, normally I might have gone into or I would go into a defensive mode, pre-writing my responses and having a backup word to counter their argument. You know that feeling whereby maybe you finish a conversation with someone and yes, so you gave them back to back, but after the conversation you're like, oh, I wish I said this, I wish I attacked this point and everything, and like you're like, I wish this conversation can just repeat itself, and I would rant it out to the person. There are some times that I actually do that, yeah. But now I try to go in with an open mind. Like I open my mind up to having difficult conversations because you should be able to handle difficult conversation as an adult. Yeah. And now I listen, I try to see where they're coming from. I try to put myself in their shoes to understand their perspective instead of me preparing to be offensive back. Because as much as you care about the other person, you genuinely don't know how much you hurt them until you actually hear it. And that goes for you. As much as you don't know how you hurt someone, the other party doesn't know how they might have hurt you with their words. So I want you to pay attention with that first instant emotion that you had or that you have whilst having the conversation with the person. You need to listen to yourself because most of you don't listen to your own emotions. You kind of bury it, kind of use the word, oh, it's not that deep, and laugh around it. That has to change. So for the second word, which is O stands for own it. You are actually allowed to feel your emotions and you don't need permission from anyone else to make your emotions valid. You don't need a perfect case built before you're allowed to have an opinion or before you are allowed to be hurt by the person's words. And V is for voices. This is the only step that needs movement and it's a very important step. It can be small, just one sentence. I actually saw that a little bit differently. That's the one sentence. Or hey, something been sitting with me since that day we last spoke. Can we talk about it? That's the whole action. And the letter E is for excel. I need you to let go of controlling what happens after. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you should be harsh, I'm not saying you should be brutal, I'm not saying you should be, rude in your communication. You can be kind even when you pass your emotions or your opinion to the other party even after being hurt. There's something my mom always say, especially when communicating to people, because sometimes you might not even be from the same background or from the same upbringing. Imagine your work colleague, you just met the person at work, so you don't know how the person was raised. This thing changed my whole perspective when it comes to communication, and that's tone. Yes, as much as you can't control it, there's a way you can make it land better. For example, now my mom can tell me, Shubi, get that remote for me. She can also say, Shubi, please pass me the remote. Did you see that? The whole point of what she wanted was the remote, but the delivery was different. But there's a way I would receive that information. I can either receive it negatively or positively as much as possible. If you use the negative way to approach or to give out or dish out your opinion, the person is going to bring back a got you moment. Oh, so I didn't mean it like that. Oh, I'm not trying to say that. Oh, you're just overthinking it. Oh, it's not that deep. Genuinely speaking, and the point you have been trying to pass across, you end up don't passing it across. You end up don't even making the person see where you're coming from. You don't really see where you're coming from, but at least understand you better or give you a listening ear. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So, in as much as you cannot control how the conversation or how your opinion is going to land, and that is absolutely fine, there's a way you can still pass that information across that to an extent it will land. And trust me, I know some people have coconut head, some people are very stubborn, some people don't seem to, understand communication. They say they know how to communicate, but in terms of interpreting the communication, they lack that skill. I get that. But for your peace, your mental health, and for you not being a version of who you do not want to be, you can be kind and still dish out your opinion in the best way possible. Just using the tone and the love method that I gave you right now. If it's something that makes sense, let me know in the comment section. If you disagree, also let me know your point of view in the comment section. I'll genuinely be checking it out and seeing what you have to say concerning this. But at the end of the day, I don't want you to lose yourself. I want you to be a better version of yourself, even in this becoming, because we are all becoming in this channel. We're trying to, come to the full realization of all that God has in store for us and be a better version of ourselves per time. Yeah, so you can be kind and still get your message across. Yeah, you don't need to be rude about it. The world is small and we are just new to this world. Everyone is living this experience for the first time. So yeah, let's be kind, let's spread kindness much more. And like I would always say, please subscribe, yes. Don't go without subscribing. It means a lot to a small creator like me, and it will be super much appreciated. And like I would always say, I just want you, just you watching me, to go be that girl, go be the best version of yourself, the better version of yourself. Don't beat yourself up. And let me know if you ended up, addressing the issue with the person. But like I said, I need you to love yourself. That's listen, own it, voice it, excel. And if the person seems not to understand the conversation, girl, you've tried. Move on. At least you communicated it out. So bye, my girlies. See you next time.